Imagine waking up one day to find your town submerged in water or engulfed in flames. Sounds terrifying, right? Well, for some people, this isn't just a nightmare, but a harsh reality thanks to climate change. Climate change, in layman's terms, is a long-term alteration of temperature and typical weather patterns in a place. And guess what's driving this change? Yes, it's us, humans. Our activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, have significantly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere, causing our planet to heat up. This global warming has dire consequences: rising sea levels, melting ice caps, devastating wildfires, and severe droughts, to name a few. These drastic changes to our environment threaten not just wildlife, but also human life and our very existence. As daunting as the situation may seem, there's still hope. And that's what we're going to explore today. From rising sea levels to extreme weather events, the impacts of climate change are far-reaching and devastating. Let's delve into how climate change is touching every corner of our existence. The impacts are not just environmental, but they also strike at the heart of our health and economy. When we think of climate change, images of melting glaciers and shrinking forests often come to mind, but it's so much more than that. Our health is directly linked to the state of our environment. Increased air pollution, for instance, is leading to a rise in respiratory diseases. More frequent and intense heat waves are causing heat-related illnesses and deaths. Then there's the economic impact. Extreme weather events like hurricanes, floods, and droughts are causing billions of dollars in damage every year across the globe. These events disrupt economies, causing job losses and food price hikes. And it's not just the big events. The slow, creeping changes also take a toll. Rising sea levels and changing rainfall patterns are altering agricultural landscapes, threatening food and water security and affecting livelihoods, especially in vulnerable communities. Now, let's talk about biodiversity. The Earth's species are disappearing at an alarming rate. This loss of biodiversity is not just a loss of beautiful species, it also means a loss of crucial ecosystem services like pollination of crops, filtration of water, and absorption of carbon dioxide. Climate change also intensifies natural disasters. Wildfires are becoming more frequent and severe, destroying homes and habitats. Hurricanes are becoming more powerful, causing more destruction. And these disasters don't just cause immediate damage, they leave long-lasting scars on the landscape and the communities that call it home. We're also seeing changes in the seasons, with winters becoming milder and summers hotter. This affects everything from farming to tourism, and even the timing of natural events like bird migration. As you can see, no one is immune to the impacts of climate change. It's a global problem that requires a global solution. In the face of such a colossal challenge, you might be wondering, what can I possibly do to make a difference? The answer is a lot. Yes, climate change is a mammoth problem, but remember, every giant is vulnerable to small, persistent attacks, and that's where we as individuals come in. Think of your day-to-day life. How many times do you flick a switch, start a car, or choose what to eat? Each of these actions, as mundane as they may seem, carry weight in the battle against climate change. They represent an opportunity, a chance to choose the planet over convenience. Let's start with what's on our plates. A plant-based diet isn't just good for your health, it's also a powerful tool in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Livestock farming contributes to nearly 15% of global emissions. By cutting down on meat and dairy, you're essentially reducing the demand and hence the emissions. Next, consider your energy consumption. Simple changes like switching to energy-efficient appliances or embracing renewable energy sources can drastically reduce your carbon footprint. It's like voting with your wallet, and you're voting for a greener, cleaner planet. And then we have transportation. Opt for public transport, cycling, or walking whenever possible. If you need to drive, consider carpooling or switching to an electric or hybrid vehicle. Each mile not driven is a victory for our environment. Don't forget, we're also consumers. By supporting companies that prioritize sustainability, we send a clear message. We value the health of our planet. And trust me, businesses listen when their bottom line is at stake. Recycling, composting, planting trees, conserving water. The list of actions we can take is long. The key point is not to get overwhelmed. Start small, make one change at a time, because when millions of us start making small changes, that's when we'll see big results. Remember, Every little action counts. Together, we can make a big difference. While individual actions are crucial, they're not enough on their own. We also need systemic changes. In the fight against climate change, governments and corporations wield a colossal amount of influence. They have the power to shape policies, create standards, and drive innovation. So, what role can they play in combating climate change? Let's start with governments. One of the most potent tools at their disposal is policymaking. By implementing policies such as carbon pricing, governments can make it financially beneficial for industries to reduce their carbon emissions. This isn't just about punitive charges, though. It's about creating a market that rewards sustainable practices and discourages unsustainable ones. Renewable energy standards are another crucial policy tool. By setting standards that require a certain percentage of a country's energy to come from renewable sources, governments can push the energy market towards more sustainable practices, accelerating the transition away from fossil fuels. But it's not just about policies. Governments can also lead by example, implementing green practices in public buildings and transportation, and investing in research and development for clean technologies. Now let's talk about corporations. They play a vital role in this fight too. Corporate responsibility is no longer just about philanthropy or public relations. It's about integrating sustainability into the very fabric of a business, from its operations to its supply chains. Companies can make a difference by investing in renewable energy, reducing waste, and designing products that are more energy efficient. They can also influence their suppliers and customers to adopt more sustainable practices. Moreover, corporations can use their influence to advocate for climate-friendly policies, pushing governments to take bolder action. Yes, these changes require effort and investment, but they also present opportunities for innovation, for cost savings, and for creating a healthier, more sustainable world. Remember, every policy changed, every renewable energy project launched, every sustainable product developed creates a ripple. And when these ripples come from governments and corporations, they can become waves. When governments and corporations take action, they can create a ripple effect that leads to significant change. Around the world, people are rising up to demand climate action, and their voices are being heard. Every corner of our globe is witnessing a surge of climate activism, a wave of change led by individuals who have decided to make their voices heard. From the bustling streets of New York to the serene landscapes of New Zealand, from the bustling cities of India to the tranquil villages of Africa, a common thread binds these activists: their unwavering determination to fight for our planet's future. These climate warriors, as we may call them, come from diverse backgrounds, but they share a common goal: to raise awareness about the urgency of the climate crisis and to demand immediate action. They are students and teachers, scientists and artists, parents and children. They are ordinary people doing extraordinary things, proving that anyone, regardless of age, profession, or location, can be a climate activist. Take the story of a group of teenagers in the heart of Europe who, armed with nothing but placards and passion, organize weekly school strikes to protest against their government's inaction on climate change. Or the tale of a scientist in the Amazon who, despite facing threats and intimidation, continues to document the devastating impact of deforestation on local wildlife and indigenous communities. Or the narrative of a farmer in Kenya who, in the face of severe drought and crop failure, leads his community in planting millions of trees to combat desertification. These stories of courage and resilience are both inspiring and humbling. They remind us that climate activism is not just about grand gestures or headline-grabbing protests. It's also about the small, everyday actions that each of us can take to make a difference. However, the path of a climate activist is not always smooth. They face numerous challenges, from apathy and skepticism to outright hostility and violence. They are often dismissed as alarmists or radicals, their messages drowned out by the noise of politics and profits. Yet they persist, driven by a deep-seated belief that change is possible, that a better world is within our reach. The success of these climate activists lies not just in the changes they effect, but also in the conversations they start. They force us to confront the uncomfortable truths about our lifestyle and consumption habits, our reliance on fossil fuels, and our complicity in the climate crisis. They challenge us to rethink our relationship with the planet and to take responsibility for its future. As we wrap up our exploration of the climate crisis, let's take a moment to honor these climate activists. They are the unsung heroes of our time, the guardians of our planet. Their stories are a testament to the power of collective action and the indomitable human spirit. We all have a role to play in combating climate change, so what will yours be?